Hello, Cyclone fanatics. Chris Williams here today, joined by one of my good buddies, Eric Peterson. He writes for the Cedar Rapids Gazette over there in Hawkeye country, but do not hold that against him. Hey, clones are going to start spring practice here in just a few hours. We've done about 1 million interviews today. We actually went and got some lunch too at Planet Sub, or check them out on the website. Eric, what did you have?
Good stuff. I had the chicken club.
Chicken club.
And, I enjoyed it. I was pleasantly surprised.
I went buffalo chicken, which is my go-to sandwich. It's automatic. So thanks to them for
Looked good.
It was delicious. Thanks to the Planet Sub, our good friends there, for bringing us this video today. Eric and I are going to sit down here. We're going to break down playmakers for the Iowa State offense looking ahead to 2010. Eric, big thing that I was focusing on today in interviews, wide receiver play.
Yeah.
Last year there were so many injuries. Reynolds went out with a broken leg. Darks was hindered all year. Johnson was really hindered all year, we're finding out.
Yeah.
Of those three guys, who's the one that you think steps up and really makes an impact for Austin Arnaud next season?
I think it's probably. I think all three will at some point. I'm looking at Darks, really, Darius Darks, to do some big things. Of course, we saw him as a freshman really step out. Last year, he kind of got going towards the end there, and you could see. I think it was his ankle that was bad, much like Johnson. But he really started to do some things late and made some moves and could get in the open field and do things. And then by the time that got toward the season was done, you know. So it was disappointing for him. I know. We talked to him today that his season really ended before it got going. Now he's healthy. He obviously wants to stay healthy, and he's got skills. I think we'll see more than the 28 catches, I believe, what he had as a junior, and I think he'll really step up.
Yeah, Darius, they call him Money. Reynolds, we found out that he was actually practicing during the bowl practices last year. He could have played in the Insight Bowl. To me, he's the guy who has the most to prove to me, because I think we've seen, even though Cedric Johnson was really bad last year, I mean, he was bad, there's no way to put it, but Coach Rhodes alluded to it today, that high ankle thing that he suffered in the first game of last year, that was a real bear for him last year. But you've seen glimpses at least of Cedric Johnson being able to break out. We still haven't seen that from Money. And it's not to say that he can't do it, but to me, of those three, he has the most to prove. But I also think he might have the most upside, just basically based off of what we've heard.
Yeah, he intrigues me. Of course, we only saw him for, was it 3 games?
Yeah, 3 or 4. I think he got hurt, after 4.
From what everyone's said about him and raved about him before the year, and we saw him a little bit, of course, in the early part of the year, he's got skills. And I think he's really anxious to put those on display. We saw him throw a little bit in that first game. He obviously has talent, and I'm very anxious to see him. I want to see him in the spring game.
No, I know. We're looking forward. I think Austin Arnaud's probably looking forward to having all those guys there as well, because Jake Williams, Josh Lynn's, a couple guys who did good things last year, but there is so much more depth. And when you talk about the recruits coming in as well, they could go 6, 7 deep in that wide receiver core with quality guys who are Big 12 players.
Yeah, playing time is really going to be up for grabs, and the guys are really going to have to step up. And you mentioned Josh Lenz. We talked to him today too. I thought he did some really good things last year,
especially on special teams.
Yeah, and when he gets the ball in his hands, he clearly has ability to do a lot of the things that some of those guys can't do. Jake Williams, great guy, great receiver, but when he catches the ball, most of the time he catches it, boom, down on the ground.
Exactly.
Josh Lenz can make some things happen with his feet. He's got a little more speed. And I hope Jake Williams does improve that part of his game, where he can get some of those yards after catch, because he is a good receiver, and clearly Austin Arnaud trusts him to throw, trusts him to do some things in the passing game.
Well, there's no excuse for the Iowa State receiving core in the passing game not to roll in 2010. 5th-year quarterback, a great offensive line, 4 guys returning, one of the best running backs in the country. That's going to be a key, I think, if Iowa State wants to win some games. Eric, thanks for Thanks for hanging out with us here today.
Anytime.
We'll see you around. This is Eric Peterson with the Cedar Rapids Gazette here on today's vlog, again brought to us by our good friends at Planet Sub.